But right now, our lead from Pro Bouncy Ball, the rare and appropriate, as we like to say, rare and appropriate Maller monologue we are allowed. It is the opening of the NBA. Yeah, even though they started back around Halloween, here we are, and ta-da! Yeah. Now, for years, doing radio on Christmas, and I haven't done it every year. Most years I end up working one of these days over the Christmas break. But the NBA was always driving the conversation. They were the kings. And while technically the season is at the quarter pole mark, this is the unofficial beginning of the Pro Bouncy Ball season. Adam Silver had a full card of games. It started out with the Wemby Spurs, the Parisian prodigy, taking on Jalen Brunson and the Knickerbockers at the Garden, the Mecca in Midtown Manhattan. And then you had the 76ers upsetting the Celtics. You had the Wolves and the Mavericks with a big injury to Luka in that game, or how big is it, followed by the Lakers and the Warriors. And then the nightcap between the Joker, Nikola Jokic, and some team from Arizona. So, anyway, I don't know how much of it you watched. I have no idea how much of it you watched, but maybe you watched a lot, some of it, possibly none of it. Maybe you watched all of it. I sampled it, but I'm not going to lie. When the football was on football. I wasn't watching basketball. I was watching football. And that's a bigger deal in my world. And I live in my world. I don't live in your world. I live in my world. In my world, that's a bigger deal. So I watched the football. But the story here, following the Lakers' last-second win, they scored a bucket. Was it Austin Reeves, I believe, with a second to go? He's had a layup. And so they beat Golden State. Golden State had been down by 9 in the final minute. They came back. They tied the game. They lost. So LeBron James had a stern message for the sports consumer. I had a message here on Christmas. Now, this was at the very end. If you didn't hear this, we have the audio on this, so listen closely. Here is LeBron James. If you missed it, perhaps, listen to his throwaway line as he walked off the court. Take a listen.
I love the NFL. I love the NFL, but Christmas is our day.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. By the way, it's our day. Yeah, okay. So LeBron there giving the proclamation. Play it again. Play it again. I want to hear it again. Play it again.
I love the NFL. I love the NFL, but Christmas is our day.
Yeah. See, those could be good drops because we could just say, I love the NFL. That could be a drop. Anytime we talk about the NFL. Play it again. I love the NFL. And then the Christmas our day, we can only really play once a year, so I don't think that really works. But the beginning part of this LeBron soundbite is a drop. Play it again.
I love the NFL.
Boom.
I love the NFL.
Boom. Right there. That's a drop. Yeah. And it'll annoy LeBron's people because it's out of context, which is even better. So I love the NFL, but Christmas is our day, a short and sweet of it all. So let us discuss the question. All right, the question is, LeBron James, as you just heard, for the 18th time, says he loves the NFL, but Christmas is the NBA's day. It's the NBA's day. So what is your verdict on this one? So I've got Cuban Missile Crisis, Wikipedia, and Katy Perry. And we will combine three things that have never been tossed together, and we're going to put them into a bowl. We're gonna stir the bowl, and we're going to put it on the oven, and we'll probably put it on there for about 40 minutes, mid-heat, see what we get. So first of all, LeBron James, dead wrong on this one in the higher level of bad takes, like the upper echelon of bad takes. This is right up there because it's an outdated, antiquated take. Christmas had been the day the NBA controlled things. But not anymore. Not anymore. The NBA did have a chokehold on the marketplace for years and years. I've been doing this a long time, and we'd always talk about the NBA on Christmas. For years, the reason it had been taboo, it had been a no-no to step on the NBA's toes. So the NBA, they controlled Christmas, and the NFL controlled Thanksgiving, and that was that. But a few years ago, that changed. And those days are over. Now, I have a theory as to why this is happening. The easy answer is, well, TV wants it. But TV's always wanted NFL games on Christmas. My theory here, I may make my elevator pitch on my theory. My theory is that it's the Cuban Missile Crisis. Ergo, former Dallas Mavericks owner, now he's just got some figurehead job. He doesn't technically own the team anymore. But Mark Cuban fired off some missiles towards the NFL. And the people that work in the NFL took notes. And they started plotting and planning. And the result is what we got the last couple of years. So if you somehow were in I don't know, maybe you have amnesia or something like that, you forgot, the then Maverick owner, Mark Cuban, starting the Cuban Missile Crisis against the NFL, said that the league was going to implode in 10 years. This is in 2014, mind you. He said, quote, I think the NFL is 10 years away from implosion. Cuban told a group of reporters. He said, I'm just telling you, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered, Cuban said, and they're getting hoggy. Just watch. Oink, 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 oink. Yeah, okay. Well, we all watched, Mark. We all watched. We watched you lose control of your basketball team. And NFL owners, even though they're really old aristocrats and robber barons, turns out that they're competitive. And as we said, they took notice of the Cuban missiles being fired off by Mark Cuban. And they then put a bullseye, the NFL did, on the NBA's back. So you want to mess with us? Okay, you think we'll be gone in 10 years? We're going to take away the one thing that you had that people loved, Christmas NBA, and we're going to take you and we're going to shove football down people's throats, and they're going to love it, even bad games. Head and shoulders above the NBA, the NFL. And we'll see. The ratings aren't out yet. We'll get the overnight ratings later on today, and then we'll have the final ratings shortly after that. But the NFL is the highest-rated TV program in America by a country mile. And this is a reminder, the NFL, even with 2 dog food games on Netflix, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Now, secondly, speaking of LeBron and his general conversation, in the lead up to Christmas, a couple days earlier, I did not mention this. Several of you were upset that I did not do a Maller monologue. It's worthy of a mention now, considering the context of LeBron, who was very positive. It sounded like the NBA's our day and all that. Well, LeBron James, the other day when they decided to change the AllStar Game into a battle of Schmendricks versus Dingleberries in the AllStar Game, LeBron brought up unsolicited the NBA's TV ratings, saying that we've got to do better, or got to do something. He didn't say better. He said we got to do something. I'll quote him in context. We got to do something. He said, quote, obviously the last couple of years have not been a great All-Star game. It's not just the All-Star Game, LeBron said. It's our game in general. It's our game in general. There's a lot of effing threes. He said the actual word. Wash his mouth out with soap and water. He said there's a lot of effing threes being shot, so it's a bigger conversation than just the All-Star Game. Close quote. All right, so LeBron James complaining recently about the number of three-pointers that are chucked up during just a regular NBA game. Why did LeBron go there? Why did he go there? So I have a hypothesis on this, that LeBron went there because of Wikipedia. He's starting to slow down. There have been some nights LeBron has looked really mediocre. He's missed some games. He's in the final chapter of his career. It's not going to last that much longer. I mean, some nights he's playing like Bronny James, not LeBron, but Bronny James. That's not a compliment. It's not a compliment. And so he's thinking on a moment of contemplation, and he's thinking about, well, where am I going to leave all this? And so he's thinking about his Wikipedia page. It's a legacy play. And I don't know about all time. I don't go back to the beginning of the NBA, but I do know, since I've been following it, the greatest stars of the NBA in the modern era, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, they all left the sport better than when they entered the sport as players. That the sport was healthier, it was better, it was doing well when they left. And you cannot say that about LeBron James. LeBron James, it's like the end of the line. that while those other guys were able to make, whether it was by their efforts or it just happened to be some kind of odd coinky-dink, it worked out that way. But every man, woman, and child knows that this is a blot on LeBron's resume. Poor quality control. The NBA is losing the grip they had on the zeitgeist of a large percentage of sports fans. Now, they like to tell you that they have people that are engaged on TikTok, on Instagram, but you can't monetize that. The whole business model is television, whether that's streaming or whether that's cable television, which is going away or whatever it might be. But that's how they pay the bills. Getting some jabroni to watch a 5-second clip on TikTok, you're not going to be able to make enough money to pay the bills. So everyone seems to know this, and yet they don't have an answer on how to fix it. But it's a whole bunch of things, right? Because not only do you have the Papa shot, which is what the NBA is, it's just a general sense of malfeasance. It's just the people that were watching the games are people that work hard, right? People that have jobs, you have to work a lot of hours. Maybe you're working right now listening to me over the holidays where a lot of people are not working. So you have work ethic. And you're a sports fan. How do you support a sport that has none of it? How do you support a product that doesn't believe in it? How do you support a business for years? Now, they've tried to change it, but the problem is the toothpaste is out of the tube. Good luck getting it back in without messing it up. But for years, they say, well, load management, load management, load management, load management. I'll tell you right now, I can tell you the player that is responsible for me not liking the basketball, not LeBron, Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is one of the reasons I'm starting to hate basketball. His lack of interest in playing, unless he's 100%, makes me want to poke my eyeballs out and puke in my mouth. That's the NBA? Now, the Clippers have given him another contract, and they support that, but it's not just Kawhi Leonard. It's across the board. It's the culture of the NBA, a reckless disregard for years of the consequences of letting people know, hey, yeah, watch the game and go to the game, but we don't need to play in the game. If we want to play, we'll play. Load management, the wussification of the NBA. And so what you get after years of doing that is people that just don't care. Apathy. Now, that's not forever. The NBA can get people back, but they're going to have to change their ways. And they're going to have to change the way that the game's played in addition to that. All right, final thought. Now, speaking of pro bouncy ball, we go to South Beach, where one of the players I liked because he actually played with perseverance and played hard, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets. We now have been told he prefers to be traded by the Heat before the deadline, which is in February. Now, why is that? We are told that Jimmy Butler was upset. He's upset because of comments made by Pat Riley in an end-of-season exit interview at the end of last season, where Butler had let everyone know that if he had been healthy, the ifs and buts were candy and nuts. The Miami Heat would have won every round in the playoffs and would have certainly beaten Boston and would have knocked out New York if only Jimmy Butler had been healthy. All right. Now, Riley supposedly countered by saying that you should keep your mouth shut on mentioning other teams. Keep my name, my wife's name out of your mouth. Did the whole Will Smith, right? And if you're not playing. So Jimmy Butler was offended by that. Can you explain what happened to the love between Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler? It does not appear to exist. So the initial thought is breaking up is hard to do. It's the Katy Perry, Calvin Harris song from years ago, Feels, right? Because they were feeling great. Things have gotten emotional. Butler is slowing down as a player. He's getting hurt a lot. He's missing a lot of time. And with him, unlike some of these other guys, he actually wants to play, unlike Kawhi Leonard, who doesn't want to play. So that's a sign. It's a dead giveaway that things are not going well. And then you toss in the fact that Pat Riley, God love him, is 79. I can't believe that. Pat Riley's 79 at this point. So he's in the final chapter of his career as an executive in the NBA. He's not going to do that much longer. So he's in the final chapter. And he wants to taste another championship in Miami and all that, more bubbly. So you throw all this stuff into a basket. You throw it all into a basket, and the good vibrations have gone away. And the relationship has run its course, and so now Butler needs to go somewhere else, and the Heat have to hit the old reset button, which is easy to do when you're in Miami because everyone wants to play in L.A. or Miami. So you're pretty much set up. The next wave of available talent will, if they're not free agents, Giannis Antetokounmpo's name, for example, has already been tossed out as a possibility to go down to Miami. Now that he won the Cup championship, then he can leave Milwaukee with 2 championships, unless that's a completely bogus championship.